Layoffs are exploding. UPS, 48,000. Amazon, 16,000. Intel, 24,000. Nestle, 16,000. Accenture, 11,000. Ford, 11,000. Novo, 9K. Microsoft, 7K. PwC, 5,600. Salesforce, 4,000. And the list goes on and on, guys. What does this mean? Where are we going? Is this the start of something massive or what? Matt, we'll throw it to you first. What do you think's going on with all of these layoffs?
It's going to keep on happening. These are the biggest ones. These are the headlines, but where you're going to be missing it is you're going to be missing it in all the ones that aren't a Fortune 500 company that are having massive layoffs percentage of company size, right? You know, 10% smaller.
Yeah. Chegg, for example, just did a 48% layoff. Now that was 320 people, but still that's half a company. That's
half a company, half a company like that. So you're going to continue to see this stuff. It just is what it is. And so what you're going to see is, you know, a lot of the people that were mortgage brokers in 06 and 07, in 08, they were carpenters or debt collectors or whatever, right? It's whatever they're, you know, there's plenty of people out there. You look at the resume and it's always the same stuff. Right. You know, it's like they're grifters. You know, they're in a career 3 to 5 years that then cycles out and then they're in the next career. And so then by the time they're in their 40s, they've had 6 or 7 different jobs and it literally timed the market. It was every single thing that was going on in the market. So I just think that, like I've been calling for, you know, kind of for the last few months, is that we're going to see continued layoffs. We're going to see it continue to escalate. And the thing is, they're not being secretive about it. Like Benioff and all these big guys, you know, Ellison, they're all the big names are talking about how layoffs are going to get deeper and deeper and deeper because they are able to be replaced by AI. They just are. The AI is going to rip out a bunch of those jobs.
So, and again, just to kind of, because again, that sounds all big and scary and you can certainly go there, but I always want to try to take this on, put it on a clock, right? So you obviously it started, I rattled off 12 names with significant numbers. Yep. And it sounds like you think that continues. So you think over the next 15 months or 14 months, so the rest of this year and next year, unemployment does one thing and that's shoot higher.
I think unemployment continues to go higher. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Unless they're unless because government always is the great equalizer, right? Okay. Unless the government passes, you know, the equivalent of the highway bill, or unless they pass the equivalent of something bill. Right? Something massive that puts a bunch of people that are not currently working back to work. And the challenge is good.
So hold on. So I think where the last time I saw a report was 4.4%. I'm just trying to get a scale here because you're kind of freaking me out. So you think we could be north of 6% by the end of next year?
I think when we talked about it, I think I said we're in the mid to high 5s next year.
Right.
But I think that can continue into the 6s for sure. All right. I think it's a slow and depressing drumbeat. And it's just based on, I mean, you saw the .com bomb. That was immediate, right?
That was overnight. It was over.
That was, a bunch of companies kind of blew up. And then, but the housing was dragged over kind of 5 years. Then you start seeing some builders blow up and others not blow up and others just stop building and basically go down to skeleton crews of essential staff. I think that there's going to be that adjustment. You know, who knows when they're going to fix, you know, the fact that the government's just completely shut down. What we do know is when the government shut down, it does create pent up demand. Sure. So again, not an economist, but I look at it and just think over the next few years, over the next year, especially over the next, 13 months, 15 months, there's going to be continued significant layoffs because technology is going to be at a place where people are going to be, getting canned.
All right. I will be disagreeing with you, but that's okay. So we're going to bring Dion in first. Dion, what is your thought? You heard the big numbers, all the layoffs. Is this just the sign of the times and more to come? What say you?
I don't want to disagree just so that I can disagree with Matt. I'm going to disagree because I actually disagree with Matt.
That'd be a nice change.
Yeah.
So
just because I can.
If you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it, right?
Yep. Sure.
Okay. Matt, you don't read a lot of books.
I don't.
You are doomed to be the next Robert Kiyosaki. You are quickly becoming.
Yeah, $1 billion. Yeah, I'll take it.
So you're quickly becoming
an asshole.
You're quickly becoming a doomer.
Yeah.
as far as the world goes, not your portfolio, not the real estate market, but this is going to happen. This is going to be bad. So maybe you should have some gold. You should have some silver. You should have some other investments. You should have some real estate. You're going to do whatever.
Have them all.
I'm not there. I don't see it. What I have is exposure to the transportation world, which is like a microscopic view of macroscopic reality.
Sure.
And
yeah.
every
And
single
again,
year,
trucking's down. I mean, I thought I saw loads down like 17% or something.
every single year, this time loads are down 20 to 30%. You cut me off in the middle of the sentence. So thanks
sorry,
for
my
making
bad.
point. For 50 years, like this isn't just a last 10-year thing. This is for from the history of ever. There's a seasonality, and seasonality seems more spiky when you have social media instead of a trustable news source. You can't turn on cable news. All you get is left wing or right wing. You can't get any news. So we go to memes. We go to Facebook. We go to layoff statistics. We don't flip the script and go, Matt's worst case scenario that he said world ending, falling apart was a 94% employment rate next year. Like that's not a bad thing.
Right.
Like, that's still 6% full employment. We've been under or over full employment for so many years that we're thinking, oh, if we got back down to full employment, that'd be terrible. So if there's more layoffs, Matt nailed it. He was absolutely right. Write that down. I said it. Matt was correct. Nobody goes on unemployment. Not a large enough number of people go on unemployment and stay on unemployment and just never work again.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They have a forced career change.
Agreed.
They become the next thing that is hiring.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Who knows what the next thing is going to be in 3 months?
But that's where I think that this time feels it's a little bit different. Just because I came from the tech world, and so 90% of my friends, 90% of my tenants, blue collar, 90% of my friends, tech world, because that's where they live. That's what they did. That's where I made all my relationships, because that's what I did. That's what I'm seeing. Every single one of them is like, I'm like, so layoffs, huh? Yep. Every single one of them, without exception, in every single one of those companies has had layoffs, and they're not seasonal. Those are
entire tech industry is 12% of the workforce.
I totally get it. Totally get it.
100% of tech can go away. We can literally lose the internet.
Yep.
Completely gone.
And that's 12%. I get it.
And there would still be people working. There wouldn't be enough to cause a mayhem that people expect. What we're going to see is the layoffs get announced. The layoffs look scary. We got midterms coming up. Both sides are going to be fighting, saying it's the other guy's fault. It's the other side's fault. Here's why you got to vote for us. It's going to get a lot of attention. And if AI replaced 50% of the jobs, we get richer.
Here's
Section 8 explodes. Government programs explode. UBI becomes a thing.
Not a disagreement.
Rents get pushed up. The asset owners win. So
is there a reason why
of saying, here's all the reasons you should become an asset owner?
Right. But let's jump out of the boat on Hyperbole River. What we're going to do is we're going to say, yes, I agree with you. That's why I'm not selling any of my properties. I think that UBI is going to come in. I think that there's going to have to be that. I think that all of those programs are going to be expanded. That's what I honestly believe is going to occur. So that's why I'm not selling any of my houses. So that's what I honestly believe. And then I think what's going to happen is you act like that transition is a switch. That transition is taken over time. And so I think we are going to see those, high fives in the sixes. And you say 12% of the economy is tech, even if 50% of those jobs, that means the economy loses 6% of jobs that are occurring right now today, which puts us in that
change jobs. They don't just disappear.
No, but that's the difference, is they're not changing jobs now. I can speak to this because all of my friends are in tech. They're not changing jobs. They're seeing, I used to go deal with these people in accounting, and now there's 2 people and a bunch of programs that are running. And I don't even talk to accounting. I talk to IT, because IT is the one that's managing the algorithm, that's managing the data.
The AI agent.
IT is not driving the trash trucks. It's not welding on the job sites. It's not making HVAC. It's not doing any of the trades.
That 88% of the market, you're exactly right. The 88% of the market, you're exactly right. But there's that 12% that if that halves or even quarters, that's going to be a problem, because it's not just tech people. You're saying those tech people. HR people that work for tech firms don't qualify as tech people. They qualify as HR people. And those, no disrespect to HR people, largely those parts of the company in the last few years enjoyed the largest land swell that they will ever see in their entire life with all this DEI crap. And so now the problem is going to be that a lot of those jobs are going to go bye-bye, because this little 9-sequence algorithm is far more enjoyable than talking to jerk off Jack at the water cooler. So that's what's going to occur. Is it's not necessarily a tech job, but it's related to the fact that they work at a tech company in a function that right now that company needs. And Mike, you've seen this a million times. M&A is off the charts. And what happens then? Customer service people get canned. HR people get canned. It's not the functional people that are in the field or customer facing very often. That does take time. That takes more time. But the HR overlay, that disappears. Disappears. Analysts disappear. AI is better at analyzing anything than a person is right now today.
Yeah. It's funny. I split the difference with both of you. And while I logically agree with Matt, I think he's falling for the same error you've made a couple of times, and it's timing.
Yeah.
Right. I think you see things and the journey, it appears shorter in your mind. Like I agree with everything you said, except next 12 months. It's just the dominoes don't fall that fast in a complex economy like ours. And in fact, I want to challenge the idea that most of these layoffs are because of AI. Now, AI is a hot topic. It is used in the press. It's a convenient excuse. Chamath Palihapitiya, right, from the All In podcast, actually has come out and says what we're going through now is not an AI bloodletting. It's actually a DEI bloodletting masquerading as AI because AI is acceptable and saying DEI is not acceptable. So if you're a CEO and you're going to let go of 20,000 people or you're going to let go of half of HR, you're not going to say it's because you had all these DEI programs that are no longer valid. You're just going to say AI because people give you a pass, right? So I think there's some truth in that. I don't know if it explains the entire story. But I think one of the things that, exactly. It's non-zero. So
agreed.
Agreed. Non-zero.
100% agree.
And then the other thing I think that's going on in the economy right now is there's been a no fire strategy, right? Because people had so much pain hiring for 2 years that they held on to people and held on and held on. And we're getting to a point where it's like, okay, we knew we were 5% bloated. Now let's go whack 7 so we can get back to, cruising altitude. So it'll be interesting. I'm a fan of AI. I think AI will touch everything and change everything. But it's just too soon, in my opinion. And the other thing that none of us are talking about, and I want to throw out there, is I actually do think over time, AI creates more jobs than it loses. And typically that's not done yet. Yeah. So again, I think AI will immediately have immediate cuts, but when you back out a decade, it actually created on net more jobs than less. It's just a timing thing. So Matt, I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, I just think that this time, with the internet, it was all of a sudden you need all these people supporting the internet, right? So you need LAN admins and WAN admins and guys laying
it started with the web
server.
page, and then the web page had servers, and then it had email, and then it had
correct. So you have all of that expansion. I don't know that it's there with AI. Having sold it, I never
let's play with that for a little bit, because again, I agree with you.
Because I know we both sold it, right? So I know we both sold AI
for the last 5 years, easy. Right. Yeah, we called it machine learning before AI was
correct.
Sexy.
And then before that, it was RPA, robotic process automation. Before that, it was scripting. So the challenge that there was is that all of these implementations that we made in hospitals, right? That's what I did. They were to cut the bureaucracy and cut the heads processing your paperwork. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, it was always a hard ROI. Yes.
Absolutely. And so, but now the challenge is that when those systems matured and they were in place, we were stuck at 12 guys on that team, and it just never got bigger. No matter what more we put on their plate, no matter how much more it took to process, it was still just 12 because it
also never got smaller.
But that was the group of, but it was making other departments smaller. So that was why there was that net loss. And so I think on the internet side, it was different because there were all these other services. But now that infrastructure is in place, AI being iterative design and regenerative, I just believe that, it's able to regenerate essentially, profitability for companies where they right now have a lot of hands and heads. I mean, think of it this way. VAs, as inexpensive as they are, how many companies are choosing AI models over VAs?
True.
A ton. And that is a low hanging fruit job, especially in the Philippines, that a lot of people very well educated have that job.
Yep.
I just think it's going to take a lot more jobs, because when you're rolling out the AI solution, I've done it. It takes a ton of people to do it. But then once that happens and you're static, it's not that big. It's not that big a group. And other groups continue to disappear. Now, the question is, when it comes to, because honestly, I don't look at loads. I don't look at any of the data other than, hey, they laid off 14,000. That's the only data that I look at, which is, hey, they made an announcement, they're laying off a bunch of people. Then I just look and see who were those people that they were laying off. Now, I think that all of the industries, you guys, we were all just in Vegas. How many of those trolley cars with AI are out there for cabs?
Oh yeah, they were everywhere.
And then they are going to do the tunnel that goes right from the airport to the strip. And asked any of the cabbies what they felt that was going to look like for them. And every single one of them said, half of us are gone within a few months. Half, not 10%, not 15, not 5, half. That means thousands of people that drive cabs right now and drive Ubers. Thousands of people, their means of making money are gone.
In Las Vegas, there's like 12 taxi cabs in the state of Washington. Like, it's not a thing. There's probably more in Seattle, but I mean, it's just not a thing here.
I promise you there's a lot more in Seattle. Like, but that's where again, that's where
30 years I've seen one. So,
but that's where the booming metropolises are, right? All these big cities, the top 20, top 30, top 40 cities, you're going to see a higher concentration of unemployment in those areas as innovation comes along.
Job changes, not job losses, job changes.
It's not always a change. It's often a
so
loss.
Matt, in your world, do we get to a point by 2030 where we have 10, 20, 25% unemployed?
They're going to have to do something big. I think they're going to have to do something big, like a highway bill or something like that. I think legitimately we're going to see a new normal. Our new normal now for transactions is 4 million. I called that before it was 4 million. I was like, hey, in the next year, I think we're going to be at sub 4 million, right around 4 million. And boom, we hit it. And it took a year. I think jobs is going to be a general degradation of the market. I think it's going to be certainly some DEI, certainly some AI, certainly mix in the pot, all the other stuff. I think next year, I think we're well into the 5s. I think the following year, I think it's down again. And I think we're probably in the 6s. Because I think
up again. Okay.
I mean, sorry, up again. Yes. Employment being down again.
Got it.
So I think unemployment will continue.
So then let's go to the answer. UBI. You have a what I'll call a dark opinion of the labor market. Yeah. So UBI, right? We talked about it earlier, and what's interesting to me is I've always thought about UBI as being something that helps. I'll just say at the lower end of the income spectrum.
Sure.
But what you just told me earlier is a lot of tech jobs are going to go away. And I think it's very hard to call tech jobs lower income.
But they're not going to be high income anymore. They're going to be zero income.
Okay, so that's where I'm going.
Because they're not willing to go take a $30 an hour job doing something physical.
Correct.
So but that's the chain I'm trying to get to. So, okay. Silicon Valley, Seattle, Austin.
Yeah.
Right? There are tech hubs around the country.
Yep.
So let's just play it out. 10% of those people, 15% of those people no longer have jobs. Those 200K salaries go to zero. Where I was going with this is what happens to the real estate market? I mean, you got to imagine if the Silicon Valley has a 15% unemployment rate. How the hell can these houses be so damn expensive?
They're not going to be.
So there will be massive crashes in tech heavy areas.
Absolutely. Look at HOA. Look at HOA Prez. HOA Prez is somebody that's on my channel every single week. We used to argue about it every week. And now he's like, holy shit, it's happening. Like he's seeing people like in San Francisco, in the tech hub, he's seeing rents drop. He's seeing vacancies up. He's seeing people with, double digit vacancy rates in San Francisco. So I just think that continues. I think the other piece to this really as well is So it goes Section 8 housing, and then it goes what's called workforce housing.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know what the maximum income is for workforce housing before any credits?
Nationally?
Yeah.
I'll go 80 grand household.
Yeah. $80,000 is a lot of freaking money, guys.
Well, that's two incomes though. That's two incomes.
Even so, but that's still
40
a lot
grand.
of,
that's
Me
3 grand a
being
month.
54, meaning two incomes is 108.
right. Understood. But that's workforce housing. That's not even Section 8 housing.
I understand.
So
Yeah,
I think what ends up happening, Section 8 comes up higher.
So they get pulled higher. Okay.
Correct.
I can get that.
They get pulled higher. Workforce gets pulled higher on top of that.
Okay.
But then it's going to be a demand issue. There's going to be far more demand than there is supply of that. And then there's going to be vacancy on the other side in the A class, and why we don't buy A class.
Yeah.
That
so
was the
I mean,
point I would like to make, Matt, that you're saying is the tech person that loses the $150,000, $200,000 a year job, it's going to be really hard to replace their income if they can.
Yes. Correct.
So I don't want to own the properties where they live.
Correct.
So again, playing this out, I think you certainly have the darkest opinion of the future.
I do,
among the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the game, again, don't buy Class A. If you have something we've said that for a long time, but I just want to put it on record again, right? Don't buy Class A.
Yeah.
Also, don't sell what we have, right? We've built portfolios for this environment.
I'm adding.
Adding.
Forget about what am I saying? Does it align with what I'm doing? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I'm not adding A class. I'm not buying nice single family houses and trying to rent them out to people with big jobs.
Well, I mean, it's the safest way to hedge the bet, because let's say, Matt, you're right. Unemployment goes up, lots of layoffs, a lot of niche markets go down because it's where the tech is, right? The tech hubs.
Yep.
I think remote work was already doing that to most cities. Like the cities we're seeing when they say, "Oh, the city's rents have gone down." I'm like, yeah, go out an hour. My rents have gone up like 100% from
absolutely.
Like 3 years ago. So
absolutely.
It's always going to shift.
Absolutely.
But let's take it the other way. Let's say you're completely wrong and the economy is very solid and unemployment stays low and everything's great. You win either way. You own the Class C, B properties. There's lots of demand. Work continues. So
people stay entry level. People stay entry level, right? A lot longer. That's why I'm not selling those assets. But the super nice, super high end assets that I have, those might be making their way to the door.
There you go.
$2,000 for 380 square feet of an apartment.
What?
Yeah, I get $2,000 for 380 square feet. Yeah,
so that's a studio. Has to be a studio.
No, it's a one bedroom. It's a beautifully crafted one bedroom.
So 400 square. Oh my God. Okay.
400 square feet. I'm getting $2,000 a month. It's $5. I mean, it's $5 a foot. It's crazy.
No kidding.
So when people say rents are coming down, go, yeah, they spiked up crazy in the last 3 years.
Exactly.
They should correct a little. Yeah.
No. Amen to that. All right. Well, let's see if we can't get the audience to participate in this. We're going to say, I'm going to pick 6.5, 6.5 unemployment rate, 12/31/26. So 14 months roughly from today.
Yeah.
Are you going to take the over or the under? Folks, if you're watching this, let me know what your guess is. If you want to take the over, which means you're kind of in Matt's camp, I think. If you're going to take the under, you're in Dion and I's camp. But it'd be interesting to see what the audience has to say. Matt, you're a doomer, dude. What happened? But that's okay. You're still my buddy. You're still my friend.
Hey, listen, I have no feelings either way. I just read what I'm seeing. If all of my friends are talking to me, I mean, I've talked to all of these guys in the last month, and all of them are talking about layoffs at their company. And I know how much money that they make. And I know that they're laying off staff. If they're like leaders of teams, they're laying off admins and things like that. And they're seeing more consolidation there.
The hardest days of my life were layoff days.
They're the worst, man. They're the worst because literally, we're still human and we still have to make a decision on letting somebody go and knowing that they're going through something, because I was close with my guys on my team.
Yeah, me too.
And so I would know if they were going through something. I'm like, oh shit. Like I got to put something else on this poor guy's plate. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's performance. And I have to make sure that, that the right people get to stay because they performed, but it's the worst. So, and to be clear, I said 5.5 upper fives. And by end of next year, I
All right.
think 6 is in 2027. That's where I think it is.
Okay,
I hope they right
sure.
the ship by then, but I think we're high 5s, which is only a little more than about a point higher than where we are today.
Yeah, about a point.
And,
Yeah.
and when these big layoffs, when they start to take root, like when they start to get counted in the number, it's gonna pucker up, Buttercup. But again, don't be an A. Don't be an A's. I think this is where I think it gets scary for the guys in nicer areas with single family homes, because those people
that's where my brain went. Yeah.
Listen, when you qualified them, when they got qualified, they qualified with 2 incomes. Dion was exactly right.
400 grand a year or whatever. Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Guess what? One of those is gone and the other one is maybe there, maybe it's less.
You just can't get there. Yeah, that's where I went with your story, is like the Silicon Valley, Texas, Austin, Texas, Seattle.
Yes.
If you're right, and tech layoffs go to 10%, their real estate markets have to implode. They just have to.
You also see massive relocations, so I've been talking to guys in Cincinnati and they're like, yeah, my rents are triple. Right. Because they were moving from a place where what they're paying with you, they're paying half. Exactly. So there's going to be these migrations to affordability that I think are going to continue to happen. Sadly, that's where the mass holes keep on coming across the border into New Hampshire. We don't want them here. Leave.
Yeah.
Go away.
All right, Dion, closing thoughts. Bring us home.
Well, no, I think Matt nailed it with, you still buy cash flowing Class C, B properties in markets that aren't tech heavy. Like I wouldn't want to own in Silicon Valley right now. Nothing's changed as far as the investor goes. The buy and hold investor wins. Correct. I think the flippers should be paying attention, or if they don't have the systems in place, it's not a good time to start flipping. It's not a good time to do your first burr if you don't own any properties and don't have your investing legs under you yet. People that have been doing strategies, you'll hear the subject to people that have been doing it for a while, still doing fine. The flippers that have been doing it for 5-10 years, still doing fine. They have the systems in place. They have the contractors. They have the relationships with the permit offices. It's time to make evergreen investing strategy moves by cash flowing assets, long-term fixed rate debt.
Yeah. Boring. The tortoise wins, right? All these hair strategies, so they go fast. They all implode eventually because the market turns on them.
So what
guys, you're amazing.
So what you're saying is, don't buy A-class, expensive, narrow margin deals where you're only depending on appreciation. I feel like that's a departure from our normal message.
Well, what you're going to hear is there are people who will buy those. And they'll do fine because they have $100 million portfolio and they take a risk with 2%. And you're like, oh, it's a stupid buy. Not for them. It is for the person who's in growth mode that doesn't have a $100 million portfolio.
Oh, it's going to be worse than that. Let's just pretend for a minute that Silicon Valley takes a 10% haircut in the next 12 months. There will be people stepping in, they buy the dip. And if Matt's right, that'll be a losing strategy. Because anytime you bet on appreciation, you only win if you get heads. If you bet on cash flow, it doesn't matter. You just hold and wait it out.
Oh, the guys that I've talked to out there, and again, it's more just trying to understand where they're coming from, because obviously it's a tech hub, but it was also a sanctuary city.
Well, San Francisco was, yeah.
Right. And so the concern there is that you no longer have those 11 people that are able to pay that really expensive rent in that kind of bad area.
Yeah.
And
it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but recently San Francisco's had a boom. In fact, it was the only large metro that had rents go up double digits. And it's because of the AI boom, right? It just got reported in the last week or so. So I did a video with Dana from Hemlane. I think San Francisco's turned the corner, right? I said earlier last year that somebody's going to make $1 billion in San Francisco. And you know what the crazy thing about San Francisco, Matt, is now they're doing, what are they doing? They're doing 12.96 or something. Basically, they're working 6 days a week, 12 hours days. That's that they're doing 72-hour weeks now.
Yeah.
That's standard.
That sounds wonderful.
But again, they're doing that in the city. They're getting 4 or 5 people to rent one place.
Yeah.
And they're just, all these little AI things are spinning up.
See, that's the thing is there's 2,000 AI companies that came this year.
Oh, it's going to be 20,000. Yeah.
2,000. But think about this. Mike, you and I saw this .com bomb, right?
Oh, I remember, up close and personal.
Right? And we lived it. And everybody had the next greatest, newest model. And that was the one that was going to change the world. And that was the one that was different. Or they even take the major chips off the table and they say, no, but we're only focused here.
Yeah.
And they're a niche player. But you and I both know that more
I sold
of
to those people.
It's but
amazing.
those companies in the next 12 to 24 months are going to blow up.
Yeah.
A lot of them are going to blow up. I mean, I'm talking to a guy who's an HOA president of multiple HOAs, and he's like 40% in one area, 40% of their dues aren't paid.
Oh,
Mike,
ouch.
You know how
That's not
condos
good.
work. 40%.
Special assessments are coming. Not good. Not good, guys. All right, buddy. Take care. Have an amazing week. You two are awesome. Thanks again.
Ciao.